Are you thinking about moving to Keyport, New Jersey? Maybe you're looking for some waterfront living, easy commute to New York City, or just a tight-knit community? Keyport's got you covered. So on today's video, we're going to be checking out everything you need to know before moving to Keyport, New Jersey. Before we get started, if it's your first time to the channel, my name is Steve McCutcheon, and I'm a realtor at Berkshire Hathaway. On the Live in Central Jersey channel, we cover everything related to the Central Jersey real estate market. So if you're the first one to know what's going on in Monmouth or Ocean County real estate, feel free to click the bell, hit the subscribe button. Let's get this video started. The very first thing to know is got to be the location. So as you can see from the photo, Keyport's going to be located in the northern part of Monmouth County, and it borders a couple different towns, Hazlitt, Aberdeen, and Union Beach. Now, size-wise, Keyport's also going to be a little bit on the smaller side. You're going to be looking at about 1.5 square miles, so that ranks 37th out of 53 municipalities in Monmouth County. Even though with a smaller size, it does have a couple major roadways nearby. That's going to be Route 35 and 36. They're both going to run north to south and are non-toll roads. 35, I used to actually live pretty close to it. A phenomenal road to get to throughout the video. A lot of things to do on there, just include in terms of shopping, dining, but that's going to be one of your major hubs. And then the other major roadway is going to be the Garden State Parkway. Also runs north to south, but this one will be a toll road. As we get to commuting in just a second, this is going to be a major roadway to get into New York City. Point number 2 will be the commute to work. Obviously, a pretty big one for a lot of people, and if you're going to buy a home, you definitely got to afford it somehow. So with the commuting, if you're not already working in New Jersey or Keyport specifically, you're probably heading into New York City. It's one of the biggest cities in the world and a pretty large hub and just employment or economic area in general. So there's 3 different ways you can get, I guess realistically we'll go with 4 different ways. You can get from Keyport into New York City. The first one would just be driving yourself. That's going to take you about an hour-ish, maybe an hour and a half on like a bad day. So like a really bad traffic or weather day. But realistically, if there is zero traffic at all, you're probably in New York in about like that Manhattan area, about 45 minutes. So it's a great location if you're going to be commuting to New York City on a daily basis. Now, the easiest route, like I said, is just going to be taking the Garden State Parkway, going up north, and then from there, depending on where your exactly work is located, you can kind of adjust it as needed. Next up, if you want to be able to take the train, there isn't going to be a train directly in Keyport, but there's going to be 2 different stations nearby. You're pretty much sandwiched in between both of them. You have Aberdeen a little bit to the west, and then you have Hazlitt a little bit farther south, maybe to the east a little bit too. So realistically, they're one stop apart from each other. If you just want to hop on the faster one, Aberdeen's just going to be one ahead. So you're looking at either way though, probably about an hour and 15 minutes from those 2 locations. And then third is going to be the bus. And that's, again, kind of similar. You're not going to have a direct route from Keyport. They're going to have some local stations through NJ Transit. But if you want to take one to New York City, you're going to hop on an Academy line, and that's going to be off of Route 36 over in Hazlitt. They have one near Middle Road and Laurel. You can take one into either Port Authority or the Wall Street Financial District. The train, I forgot to mention that before, that's going to go into Penn Station. The last option, probably not the best, just kind of where it's located because you have to go a different direction to then head back north, and that's going to be the ferry. The 3 different stations are going to be, or ports are going to be in Belford, the Atlantic Highlands, and the Highlands. So you're going to have to drive to the east and then go back up. You're probably better off and faster just driving yourself, although because the bus or the ferry is going to take you about 45 minutes to 50 minutes to get into the Wall Street District. So again, it's an option if you'd like to go that way, but probably the worst out of all 4. And one last thing to note on your commute, the congestion tolls, if you are driving yourself, are still in effect, at least as of me making this video. So for anyone unaware, New York imposed a congestion toll tax on anyone driving from New Jersey, or just, I guess, out of state in general, into New York City, and they ding you pretty hard. I forget the exact number. I actually made a separate video on it altogether, and I'll link that in the description down below for you if you want a little bit more info on it. But as of me making this video right now, it is still in effect. President Trump has come out and said that he's had a talk with the governor of New York, and they want to try to abolish it somehow. It might be a little bit difficult because the MTA, which is their transportation authority over there, has stated that in January they raised $48 million from these tolls. So you're talking about $500 million. Probably going to stay in place for a little while longer. The third thing to know has got to be the school system and education. So the Keyport School District, at least according to niche.com, is going to be rated a C+, houses about 950 students, and has a 12-to-1 student-teacher ratio. Now, since it's a smaller school system, smaller town in general, there's actually only going to be 2 schools, and then you have Keyport Central, and you got Keyport High School. Central is going to cover grades K through 8th, and then you're going to have Keyport High School doing 9th through 12th. I would say on a rating scale, at least using niche.com in comparison, for Monmouth County, Keyport's going to be on the lower side of things. There's a lot of other school districts going to be rated A, A-, even B+. So, sometimes a little bit smaller towns have a little less funding, maybe not as many activities or academics, and sports possibly, but overall, it's still a decent school district. It's just not in comparison, I guess, or just not rated as highly in comparison to just other ones in Monmouth County. Coming in at number 4, and that's going to be the housing options. We break them down to 3 different categories. So you're going to have adult communities, condos and townhomes, and single families. There aren't any adult communities that are going to be located in Keyport, so we're going to move on to the condos and townhomes. Price point wise, if you want something that's move-in ready on the lower end, I would say 375 is probably the lowest you could get in at, and that goes all the way up to about 700,000. Now that's gonna be the difference between 1-level condos and 3-story townhomes, and then just size-wise in general. So you're talking about 2 to 3 beds, 2 to 4 baths, and anywhere between 1,100 up to 2,500 square feet. So they can get pretty large, especially those townhomes, and some of them are going to be new construction over the last 2 years. So you're talking from like 2023, 2024. A couple different communities have been built over there, so they've definitely been building more housing in Keyport and just more on the condos and townhome size. And then when it comes to the single family side of things, this is going to be where the bulk of the sales are in Keyport. I would say it's probably like a 70-30 split for single families to condos and townhomes in the area. And if you're looking for something that's move-in ready, on the smaller side, if you want maybe a 2-bedroom, 1-bath ranch, those low 400s is probably where you're going to be able to get to. Anything below that's more likely not going to be not necessarily a gut job, but it's definitely going to have to need a little TLC done to it. So the bulk of the sales for single families will be between about $500,000 to $700,000 for Keyport, and the highest one is going to be rated or came in at $815,000 for 2024. So Keyport's still kind of one of those towns in Monmouth County that is affordable, especially on the single family side of things. Many other towns or municipalities start in that 600, 700,000 range for anything that's just decent. So the fact that that's like the high end for Keyport, yeah, maybe the school system isn't necessarily the greatest like we just covered, but maybe a small price to pay for some that want to live this close to the water, because that really doesn't come around too often here in Monmouth County. Next up are going to be your shopping and dining options. And I kind of mentioned a little bit in location, but Route 35 and 36, those are going to be your major hubs for this. I would say Route 35, especially over in that Hazlet area. So once you go outside of Keyport a little bit, that's going to have so many different options for you, and they're not going to be far away. So you're talking food stores like ShopRite and Costco, 2 department stores. You got Home Depot over there, Burlington, CVS, Dollar Tree. The list pretty much goes on and on. I would say majority of like your name brand big box retailers you'll find across Route 35, either in Hazlet, Aberdeen, maybe if you go a little bit farther west, and just so on. So awesome location to have over there. There's also a small downtown area in Keyport, and you'll have a few different shops and boutiques over there too. When it comes to the dining and restaurants in the area, similar to the shopping, you're going to have Route 35 and 36 are going to be pretty massive hubs, but Keyport actually has quite a few different good restaurants that are going to be located in town too. And I would say McDonald's Pub is probably going to be one of the top ones in the area. They're going to be your typical American pub style menu. And then my parents' favorite, actually, they travel all the way from Freehold for Keyport Fishery. It's a very old school kind of place. I'm pretty sure it's still cash only. Basically, they have a couple different menu items. It's all fried food or all fried fish, and there's no substitutions. It's like one of those kind of spots. So it's a lot of people recommend going there always. And then you have you have a small distillery in town. They'll host different networking events. So a lot going on in just Keyport in general in that downtown area, and you can definitely find a couple good bites to eat just there alone. And if you want to have a fun town, you got to have some things to do. So let's go. Point number 6 is the different entertainment options. Being that we're so close to the water here in Keyport, basically on the water, you're going to have different fishing options. If you want to go paddle boarding over on the bay, and a couple different things there. If you want to stick to the outdoors, the Henry Hudson Trail is not too far. So if you're into hiking or biking, that's always going to be a good option as well. Indoor wise, I would say, at least in Keyport, the couple different bars that we just mentioned, the distillery, if you want to go grab a drink, there's a plenty different ones like that. You can also, there's different festivals year round in that downtown Main Street area, so that's never a bad thing either. Outside of Keyport, you can head over into Keansburg. They have a water and amusement park. It's not going to be big like Six Flags down in Jackson, but it will definitely get the job done for the family if you want to just go out for the day. The PNC Bank Arts Center, located over Homedale. Big concert venue, 20,000 seater, and has big names all year round over there. So within Keyport's maybe 15, 20-minute radius, and then what's going on in the town, you will not run out of options anytime soon. And that'll be the top 6 things you should know before moving to Keyport. Leave a comment down below. What did you think about the town? How did you like it? Or if you're living there currently, how did I do on this video? With that being said, though, if you're looking to buy or sell in the Keyport area, feel free to reach out. All my contact information is down low in the comments or description. So whether you're 1 month, 3 months, 6 months, even year out, doesn't matter to me. Let's just get you on the right path towards your real estate goals. And if you want to move to a different part of the Central Jersey area, check out 2 videos popping up in. Hopefully I'll help a little bit too. Have a great day.